the last couple of weeks in the child care centers that I go into, we have been doing transportation. And so I wanted to share with you one of the activities that I've been doing this week that I believe by far is probably like one of the easiest, like less amount of prep work and most engaging that I have had with the kids, and most of the lessons that I do. So here it is. The very first thing when we started playing the game is I introduced to them the old faithful red light, green light. I've made a reel on here where I made a fancy red light, green light game last year, and I took 2 thick paper plates and stapled them together and made something a little more sturdy. This year, I was not trying to do that for everything. And these are the plates I had on hand. I'm all about use what you have already. So I just use these thin paper plates, put red on one side, green on the other. And we play the game a little different than I have played in the past, where you all line up and then you do red light, green light, and have them go from one end to the other. So since I did that with them last year, I wanted to show them a different variation of red light, green light. And we basically made our way around the classroom to where they had to merge their bodies to making a line, and then in a sense played follow the leader, but also with our red light, green light. Before we got started, I had the kids buckle up their seatbelt. I had them put their key in the ignition, just using some of that vocabulary. This is with 2-year-olds, 2s, 3s, and 4s that I'm doing this lesson. So I'm just using some of these car transportation vocabularies. Put your foot on the gas. That makes the car go. When you do that, it makes the car rev its engine. And can you say vroom, vroom, and have the kids making these sounds with you? I talk to them about the fact that when they're sitting at a red light, people will start honking their horns if the light does not change for a long time. I explain that I don't personally do that because I am patient, but some people that get impatient like to honk their horns. And so I let them have fun honking, honk, 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 or beep, beep, whichever way they wanted to make the sound. But getting them to make sounds was big. We played this maybe 5 minutes. We went zigzagged in and out of their tables and chair area that was already there. I didn't move any furniture, kind of moved around the room like that. And then I told them to come back to park their car in a certain spot on their carpet space. When they sat down and they parked their car, they could take off their seatbelt to sit crisscross, put their hands in their lap, and then I'll show you the box first. Oh, look, this is me after the lesson. Then I showed them these cars that I bought at Dollar Tree. I think I got the tape all stuck to my box. They're from the $3 section, but they come with 6 cars in one. And they're the kind that when you pull them back and let go, it releases. So the older kids, I was showing them to use the pincher, the older 2s, how to use their baby shark, their pincer grip, but I tell them baby shark, to pull it back. And when they hear, like I'll show you guys up here so you can hear it. And when you hear that click, 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 let me do it again. That click, click, click to release, and then the car will drive. It's a little bit hard on the dashboard here. So I showed them how this works. I had them get real quiet. They wanted to get really quiet and listen up and hear that click, 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 and then how to release their fingers so that the car will drive. I showed them how to do it on top of the tables, how to do it on the floor, how to do it on the carpet, where it's easier, where it's harder. And then I told them once they were sitting crisscross, hands in their lap, I laid out all the cars. We talked about the colors because the cars were different colors. I laid them in line. We counted to make sure we had enough for everybody. Counted the kids, had them involved in that process. Then called them up to come pick their car. And once they picked their car, they could go off and start doing their practicing and getting it to ride around the room. Another key thing to note here that's very important, if you have a kid that struggles to sit on the carpet crisscross applesauce, for one, if there's a health condition, if there's some sort of physical thing that makes it where they can't sit crisscross, or maybe even a mental thing. A lot of autistic kids do not like to sit crisscross. Use your judgment there. I get a lot of questions about that. And I'm like, if someone physically or mentally cannot sit crisscross, you know your kids. So those, though, that are like a behavior thing and they just struggle to stay focused or sit, immediately once you see them sit crisscross, Give them the ability to come pick their car. Don't make them wait all the way till the very end. Acknowledge the fact that they did. Have them do what you asked, but then let them get up and go pick their car. So like today we had a little 2-year-old and she was crying because she wanted to get up and pick. She wasn't understanding to wait. So as soon as she sat down and sat crisscross, okay, now it's your turn to go pick your car. I know it's not necessarily 100% fair for the other kids that have to sit there and wait, but I mean, this whole thing is happening in like less than a minute. But we want to reward those kids that are struggling, that once they get it, once you see them, we see you do the right thing, and then have them go pick. Then from there, while they are going around the room and they are practicing with their car at this point, they're having fun just getting the car to move. Get you some painter's tape. And like the class I was just in, they had black painter's tape. Perfect, because it looks like a road. But I used green, I used blue, I used whatever color tape that I was able to find at the Dollar Tree or Walmart. But this tape is so easy to put down and so easy to pick up. And so while they were doing that, I was making roads on the flat surface of the ground, but then I also made it come up in an incline to go on top of their table. Across their table, I connected their tables to make a bridge. I showed the kids and explained to the kids before I released them even, using my own legs, like how I can connect my legs with the pieces of tape and have like a space in between them, so that they would understand like you can still drive across here and that this is so that the car doesn't fall. But if they go through the tape, it's going to break. And then when the car is driving, it's going to crash and burn and go down in the little ravine or down into the water, whatever would be underneath there. But we have a bridge that connects the two places so that they can drive across straight safely. The kids break the bridge. It's okay if they break the bridge. We have tape. I tell them if they break the bridge, try to fix it themselves. If they can't fix it, then the road workers will come and fix the bridge for them. But we also want to encourage them to go around or go underneath so that the bridge can stay intact. Some of the kids got really creative. We got some of the magnetic blocks out today and made some tunnels. I was with the twos, so they weren't quite understanding making the tunnels for themselves, but they enjoyed using, like pulling back the car and letting it go through the tunnels on the road. I'll share some videos after I have time today, and I'll put some footage of like the kids in action doing these things. But I just wanted to explain all this so that you could maybe get your wheels spinning on things you could do as well. And then after our time was done, the whole thing from the red light, green light game to me finishing up, I'm in the classrooms for 30 minutes. So I took the bridges down, but then I just took that same tape, if it wasn't all torn and twisted and everything, and just put it flat on the ground. So now that later when we can't go outside or have extra time, that they can actually still use the tape on the tables and on the floor with their cars. And you're not having to use the tape over and over again. What was I going to say on that? I was going to say something else on the topic. Oh, and just explaining to them that once the tape comes up, then we don't have it anymore for them to leave it, because the kids do like to pull the tape up. Some of the kids really love the texture. They even like sticking the cars up underneath where it was sticky and having their cars get stuck on there. We had kids that liked to see how many cars they could line up. They all like brought their cars and set it on the bridge. We had some that had in their classroom, they had the holes in the back of their chair. So we were able to put the chair in a certain spot that we could pull back the car and let it go. This is in the 4-year-old's class. And it would come flying through, and sometimes it would go through the hole inside the chair, and that was pretty cool to see it fly through. We pulled back on the table and just let it fly off, like how monster trucks like to, fly over things. So we just talked about all kinds of different things like that. The kids had a lot of fun. Very few kids did trip on the tape, because the tape going from the ground up to the table creates a little bit of a spot that kids that aren't really aware of their surroundings would cause an issue. So you could even just put chairs up against that on both sides. I did that to help keep from tripping hazards. But for the most part, it was so fun. The kids really enjoyed it. And it's a perfect thing to get them moving. They're learning the lessons, you're using the vocabulary, and they're actively engaged. And the older they get, the more creative they get with making tunnels and all of that, with the magnetic letters, or making things that the car can fly through. So I would love to hear from you. If you try any of this out, let me know, or if you have any kind of variation to that. And in the meantime, be sure to follow me for more ways to enjoy early childhood. Bye, guys.